Nigeria holds 64th independence anniversary church service with calls on citizens to be patriotic.
This country, and that's what you, is going to be the most blessed, the most successful, the most prosperous in Africa and the world.
Vice President Kashim Shettima returns to Abuja after a successful outing at 79th United Nations General Assembly. Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps dismisses officer for supplying weapons to terrorists. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 and Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I am Olajide Bello. A special church service commemorating Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary has been concluded at the Economical Center, Abuja, with clerics calling for unity and expressing hope for Nigeria's greatness. Most Reverend Michael Akinwale, in his sermon, centered on Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream, urged Nigerians to be nationalistic in their outlook so that the country will leave a legacy of excellence for generations to come and make lasting impact on other nations. Leaders, including the President of the Senate, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Defense Chief Representatives of Service Chiefs, and former President Olusegun Obasanjo attended the landmark service.
Students will soon begin to take money from the special fund established to ensure that students from deprived families are not deprived of education. So far, 2.5 billion has been dispersed to students. It's a novelty, something that is new. I want you to clap more than that. Special remittances to state governments to promote what? Food security.
Nigeria gained independence from British colonial rule on October 1st, 1960, adopting a federal system with an elected prime minister and ceremonial head of state. This anniversary serves as a reflection on the country's journey and its diversity, with a federal structure comprising 3 regions: Eastern, Northern and Western. In related news, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, announced that Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary celebration would be low-key. Past independence anniversary events have featured interdenominational church services such as this one held at the National Economical Center in Abuja. The service concluded with the national anthem and symbolic cutting of the national cake. Vice President Kashim Shettima has returned to Abuja after successfully representing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the just concluded 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. The Vice President had presented Nigeria's national statement at the general debate, as well as engaged in several bilateral meetings and numerous sideline events at the General Assembly. He will proceed to join President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to mark some events put together as part of activities commemorating Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Joseph Olasukomi Tegbe as a Director General and Global Liaison for the Nigeria-China strategic partnership reached by the 2 countries during the President's visit in early September. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, states that Tegbe is a 1988 first-class graduate in civil engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University and Fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. He will report directly to the President and expected to immediately submit a strategic action plan to enable Nigeria to benefit from the agreements between the 2 countries in Beijing. As the Caesar of the strategic partnership, the statement says he will lead day-to-day operations, engage continuously with the Chinese counterparts, and ensure that all deliverables are met and synchronized with national development goals. In the strategic plan, he will outline the specific deliverables, timelines, and key performance indicators for each area of cooperation. This will include priority projects, projected investments, and expected socio-economic outcomes. At the 2024 Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, President Xi Jinping pledged 360 billion yuan, or about 51 billion United States dollars, in new financing to African nations in the next 3 years. He also pledged support for 30 infrastructure projects to boost connectivity across the continent and create 1 million jobs. The federal government has handed over 64,100 capacity CNG buses to labor and student unions to enhance transportation and welfare of citizens. In the ceremony at the State House, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, and his counterparts held the landmark event as a step towards utilizing greener energy.
But we have about 64 of them to commemorate the 64th independence anniversary of our great nation. We have the 100-seater and we have the seaters, all of them about 64. As we live here today, expect to see the CNG buses plying not just the routes of Abuja, but the routes of all the major cities and crannies of this country.
Is to intervene on the side of the poor and the most vulnerable in the aftermath of what we all knew were necessary macroeconomic reforms to set the country on the path of economic stability.
The buses will reduce the transportation costs for our workers traveling to and from their working places.
So if you give us more buses, we'll announce you. We won't wait for the press to talk about it. We'll be talking it in the street. So we appreciate the bus, but we need more. Thank you.
And sorry about that mix-up. The bus is actually 64 100 capacity CNG buses. Moving on. In a bid to reduce the cost of transportation, the Enugu State government has begun the process of transition to compressed natural gas CNG vehicles. Chika Ogo reports that the Commissioner for Transport, Dr. Obi Ozol, disclosed this while briefing in the press, and the outcome of the state's Executive Council meeting presided over by Governor Peter Mba.
The move by the state government to transition from PMS to CNG means of transportation, the Transport Commissioner said, will help cushion the effect of fuel price hike in the country. He disclosed that the state government has entered into a partnership agreement with a private firm for the conversion, with plans concluded to buy buses as well as provide a conducive and enabling environment for the private sector to invest in the transport space.
When you are going through Ugwonyama, you will see that there is a massive construction going on that hill on your right-hand side, and that is the CNG mother station that will serve the entire southeast. And then in the next few weeks, you'll start seeing the ancillary daughter station, which is like filling stations. And anybody that is interested in the conversion from petrol to CNG can always come to our ministry.
The Secretary to the State Government, Professor Chidiebere Onya, also said the ESCO had approved the creation of a new ministry called Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources to serve as a supervising ministry to handle all state government engagements in energy and mineral resources.
This ministry will take effect, and most of their role, the mandate includes oversight of most of our investment opportunities within the solid mineral space, and also to help catalyze investments in the energy space, renewable energy space, and also in our coal to power space.
The government functionaries further explained that these initiatives are in line with Governor Mba's commitment to improve the living standard of the people and grow the state's economy. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Are you having apathy in water transportation? Worry no more, because inland water transportation has great potential to generate revenue not only for government at all levels but individual boat owners and workers in the sector, provided the trivialization of safety rules on the part of everyone involved in the sector that makes most Nigerians shy away from this massive income generating sector becomes a thing of the past. Larry Bilay examines the need for attitudinal change on the part of passengers.
There have been records of hazards bedeviling the nation's inland waterways. Is it the recklessness and incompetency of some captains and boat operators? Poorly constructed jetties, insufficient and substandard safety jackets, presence of waste on water surfaces, or the attitude of some passengers themselves?
Water is completely different from road. If you have incidents on the road, you can stay by the roadside. You see help. You see somebody that will help you. A passerby will help you. But in water, as soon as the thing happened, your time start counting.
There's also issues of overloading from jetties, based on connivance of some boat operators and passengers. Some operators lament on the tussle that often occurs between them and their passengers when they try to inform them about safety rules on water.
Now, if we are loading, we ask some of them to just, the boat is, look at that boat now, you see, before you know now, you see that the boat will start bending. You understand? They will know, if you go there now, so try to balance the boat, they will start harassing us. So that we have to take it personal with them.
Non-compliance of safety regulations has hindered the development of this transportation system, and this had made the federal government, through its agency, set up a constant monitoring system coupled with a gazetted document for all involved in inland water transportation in the country.
In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission and HYPADEC has distributed 33 modern fiberglass boats to 10 of its benefiting states to checkmate incidences of maritime tragedies in the various communities. The inauguration of the intervention initiative, which was held at the HYPADEC headquarters in Minna, Niger State, is part of the Commission's drive to make water transportation a safer source of livelihood. Fatima Usman reports.
The choice of the 33 fiberglass boats by the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission and HYPADEC to 10 of its benefiting states is for its significant features of durability and safety, as the boats offer superior navigation over wooden ones, which are vital in mitigating the reoccurrence of boat mishaps that have plagued the riverine communities over the years. The initiative is also part of the Commission's broader vision to revolutionize marine transportation in all HYPADEC communities by strengthening trade networks and enhancing community connectivity.
HYPADEC is actively protecting lives, easing transportation, and ensuring that our waterways remain a source of livelihood.
These boats are not simply a gift, they are a responsibility. You must ensure that they are maintained properly, safety protocols are adhered to, and that they are used for the benefit of all.
People of vested interest at the engagement, including Managing Director Niwa, described the inauguration of the modern glass boat as life-changing for all waterways users, even as they solicit for more collaborative efforts in this sector. The 10 states that benefited from this gesture of the HYPADEC include Niger, Kogi, Kwara, Kaduna, Plateau, Nasarawa, Kebbi, Benue, Taraba, and Bauchi states. In Minna, I am Fatima Usman, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 and NTA News 24. Let's take a break now. More reports and we return.
Nigeria is at the threshold of another milestone in its history as the country is set for the celebration of its 64th independence anniversary on the 1st of October. This year's celebration with the theme, Nigeria at 64, reflecting on the past, inspiring the future, affords the country the chance to reflect on the journey of nationhood and assess the task of nation building.
There's hardship, but how did we get here?
As this year's celebration coincides with the country's 25 years of unbroken democracy, the task of engendering an inclusive governance that caters for every segment, especially the youth, is now.
We've sustained 25 years of democracy this year. We don't want to keep the people hungry and angry.
Nigeria at 64, reflecting on the past, inspiring the future.
Thanks for being there. In commemoration of the 2024 World Heart Day, the Association of Cardiovascular and Thoracic Surgeons of Nigeria, ACSN, is calling for more efforts to improve heart health in the country. They highlight significant progress, including the establishment of cardiac centers and increase in complex open heart surgeries. The association also points out the high cost of cardiac surgeries due to imported medical supplies and urges the government to provide subsidies and waive import duties to make surgeries more affordable. Additionally, they advocate for health insurance schemes to cover cardiac surgeries and propose that the federal government sponsor 1,000 surgeries yearly through special intervention funds, strengthening tertiary centers, increasing funding and expanding training for cardiothoracic surgeons, especially in underserved regions, also high on their agenda, while stressing the need for multidisciplinary collaboration to tackle complex heart conditions. They encourage mentoring young surgeons to stay and raise the standard of health care in Nigeria. This year's theme, Use Hearts for Every Heart, urges everyone to care for not just their own hearts, but also the hearts of others and the environment. Joining us via Zoom to speak on taking care of the heart is Dr. Alioke Ikechukwu. He is a cardiothoracic surgeon at the Federal Medical Center, Abuja. You're welcome to the news at 6.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
Okay, doctor, let's look at the increasing rate of heart attacks in Nigeria. What is the cause of this and how can people take care of their hearts to avoid heart attack?
Okay, thank you very much for having me once again. Yes, this year's theme, Use Heart for Action. That's what we're considering, and essentially we are trying to set up advocacies to prevent even these heart conditions from occurring, because it costs so much to get these heart conditions treated. So we'll save more resources if we're able to encourage healthy lifestyle, encourage people to get to know their numbers, get to have their cardiovascular checks, so that these things can be handled, especially in their infancy stages, as it's going to be cheaper and save the country huge resources for treatment. So we are just trying to play our own role as part of the global call to save the heart of the nation, the heart of our teeming populace, and coming to cardiac surgical practice. Essentially, care for complex anomalies are yet to be readily available and yet to be readily affordable. So just as we keep on advocating for schemes to cover some of these practices, we also ask for the government to also set up more heart centers. We are doing open heart surgery here in Federal Medical Center, but that's about the only facility offering it on a routine basis in the north. So we expect more of these facilities to come up in the north. I mean, the south, there are quite a number of centers, Ife, Lasut, and some other private facilities. So it's a global call. So, I mean, first of all, and for those who finally come down with the disease, to be able to care for them, both medically and surgically.
All right, Dr. Ikechukwu, the high cost of heart surgery is also contributing factor to mortality rate. How can this be addressed in the interest of citizens, since your association is advocating for a waiver in the import of supplies as regards heart surgery?
Obviously, the supplies we need for open heart surgeries in Nigeria are imported, and it really impacts on the cost of receiving cardiac surgery. So it costs, I mean, the simplest of cardiac surgeries will be cost a range of between 6.5 million and 8 million. That's about the simplest cardiac surgery, because of course everything is affected by the inflation. The cost of these consumables have remained. Once they are to be imported, they are really expensive. So, and this impacts on mortality, because many will prefer to die with their disease conditions because they cannot afford care.
All right, Dr. Ikechukwu, just before I let you go, have you considered like local patenting of these supplies, since you said the cost of importation is on the high?
Yes, you see, these for cardiac surgeries are not just that easy to produce. You need willing investors who will be coming in with the research, because cardiac surgery is about one of the most delicate operations to be done. I mean, one has to stop the heart from beating, and the machine takes over the function of the heart and the lungs. So it's not just as easy as just get someone's heart and open it all up. So these consumables, you need big time finance. The investment to produce these consumables in the country. So it's not just a one-off thing. It's not an easy thing to do. It also takes an enabling environment for these companies to thrive. So it's not as easy as it's been said.
Many thanks, Dr. Ikechukwu. Your final words as regards government sponsorship of at least 1,000 heart surgeries in Nigeria.
Yes, we have been encouraging that, and we have been advocating for that, because if government will sponsor, for instance, as you said, 1,000 heart surgeries a day, as surgeons will get their hands wet, skills will be maintained, there will be ample opportunities for training, because as it stands at the moment, if one is to get proper training, one has to go abroad. I spent some time abroad. Most of the other heart team members practice to spend significant time abroad, because one cannot develop skills by operating just about less than 50 in a year. I mean, in our facility in Federal Medical Center last year, we did just about 23 operations. One is not able to maintain skills with just 23. And so if governments can come in to sponsor, that will go a long way in increasing expertise, in maintaining skills, and even training of manpower. And it's going to help our populace.
All right, many thanks, Dr. Aleoke Ikechukwu, cardiothoracic surgeon at the Federal Medical Center, Abuja, for your input on the news at 6.
Thank you.
Moving on, walk an appreciable distance is a step towards a healthy living and prevention of cardiovascular illness. This was the central message from medical experts during a health walk as part of activities marking World Health Week. Joseph Otson reports that the event was put together by Limi Hospitals in collaboration with the Federal Capital Territory Administration.
Sitting is the new smoking. This is a phrase used by the World Health Organization and promoters of good health to promote regular exercise and medical checkups to prevent health challenges. Research sponsored by the World Health Organization shows people who smoke and those who sit down for long periods of time have equal cardiovascular diseases risks.
So what we have put together here is to say, one, check your blood pressure for free, check your blood sugar for free, learn what to do when somebody collapses so that you can know how to do proper CPR, so you're not putting spoons in the mouth or doing all the like, and more importantly, imbibe and stimulate a healthy lifestyle which starts by walking. And so that's what the walk does to the body. It does so many other things, including immune, even reduces the incidence of cancer.
And here, medical experts have taken the health talk to major streets of Abuja. From exercising walking on major roads to application of emergency response first aid and medical checkups. These voluntary participants from different endeavors benefit from experts' advice.
They told me that I needed to keep fit and see doctor often, keep the numbers, check myself often as possible.
I realized how unfit I was because my whole body was, because the walk was it was long and I had fun, it was really nice.
Before, my body used to heavy me, but now I feel released as if something just got out from my body. I enjoy this exercise.
The importance of knowing your numbers cannot be understated. And this administration, at least in the FCT, we have the FCT Health Insurance Scheme, where you pay a certain amount, very little, 12,000 for a year, and your whole family, husband, wife, and 4 children are treated for free. And then pregnant women are registered onto our health insurance scheme for free.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration says it wants to adopt the health advocacy on a regular basis to build up culture of healthy living among the people. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 6 and NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.